Hello, guys, and welcome to my discussion slash review on Higurashi Go. Um, if you're new here, welcome. We do a lot of Higurashi on the channel, and we have a full reaction to the Go series if you want to check that out. Um, but yeah, let's talk about it a bit. You know, it's been a little bit since I finished it, so I've thought about it a bit. I've rewatched some parts of it. I think it's great. I think it's a very fun experience. Let me know how you think it is. I don't actually know the community opinion of it. I'm just gonna assume it's good. I do know there was like some people who didn't like it that commented before I started watching it. Um, but we have a couple things to talk about. I think first going into this, because what I've heard was that Ryukishi himself said that this is like this or I should say Go itself is like an experience for brand new people to the series and old people or people who have experienced Higurashi already. I should say not just old people. um which I mean, like how much does that statement hold fast? Because I think it's you can easily say you'll like this much better if you experienced Higurashi before. Like I don't think that's even like debatable. Um but I haven't like I guess like can it be enjoyed if you haven't experienced Higurashi before? And I think the answer is yes. Mainly because I've been like watching people to react to it and they don't know what Higurashi is and they're chilling with it. So I guess the answer is yes, but I think you definitely can't appreciate the series like as nearly as much as you can if you watch it as a sequel. A lot of the fun stuff um is because the fact that you know a lot of the background stuff from the original story, and it's probably pretty confusing if you never heard of Higurashi. They do their best to like explain some of the basic plot points. Not basic, just plot, I guess, just plot points of the past story. And I think they do a pretty good job with it, but I still think it's probably a bit overwhelming. Um, and then I guess you can say that, like, if you watch this first, then it kind of ruins a lot of the story in the OG series. But, like, I feel like a large amount of people who want to revisit the Higurashi original story will probably just watch the anime instead of reading the visual novel since it's such a big time constraint. Though obviously I would suggest the visual novel because it's great. By the way, that's on the channel too if you want to check it out. Um, but yeah, I guess the answer is it can definitely be watchable if it's your first experience and you haven't watched Higurashi before. But I don't think like anyone would ever consider it like great or something. They like consider it good at best, just because there's just too much that requires other knowledge from the other series. And like I would say, like it does have like some Hidur or some Umineko stuff, like a bit of Sasonia stuff. I don't even know Sasonia, so I was lost for the small reference with feathering there. Like there's a lot to take in, but it's still watchable. Like I said, I've literally seen people enjoy it without having prior Higurashi knowledge. So yeah, I don't know. But as a sequel, I'm loving it. I definitely think you'd like it as a sequel, right? It's just like such a fun experience. I guess we should talk about like for me, there's like three different like obviously there's like five arcs, but like there's like three different like experiences you have. Like the first three arcs is almost like a scavenger hunt where you like compare them to because they're mirrored arcs to the original story, and then you like compare the differences, and it's like a and solving this new mystery, finding out the new rules of the world. It's like Higurashi all over again when you start actually trying to figure stuff out, and that was a super fun experience. Then you have the Neko arc, which was, you know, the big gore chapter. Um, maybe the most like entertaining just episode by episode experience I've had. I know like people love the gore. Higurashi is known for being dark and gory. I hear people say that a lot, even though it's like it's usually more of a minimal part, I feel, of the series. I mean, maybe that's not true. There's some pretty shocking stuff. But like I really like the Neko arc because all the situations with gore were like very interesting to watch, just because I think they did a good job showcasing that certain person on the high level of the Hinamizawa syndrome, like how their personality would be. Because it's not just like random violence, like they all acted how like how they I guess it's to say like how they should act, like if Oishi was high syndrome, you know, since he's like he really needs to solve the mystery since it's his last year. Like I can see him like going crazy and like, you know, super forcing it with like his gun and stuff. Like Akasaka's whole character is basically to help Rika, so him killing Rika in the process of trying to help her works. Then you got Akane, who you don't get a lot of Akane in the original story, but like her backstory is like she's not the head because she kind of disobeyed her grandmother and married the Yakuza boss and stuff like that. So it kind of made sense that she's trying to like cleanse her family and stuff like that. Kimiyoshi, whose character is basically like just a wimp who only listens to Oryu, and he finally shit talks her in this one, in his high syndrome. It was like very interesting to watch. So I really like that. And all like the references, like there's a lot of Sumi Horoboshi references with Akasaka's like hostage fire situation. Keiichi's fight with Rena was like a reversal of Sumi Horoboshi, but Rena just dies. um and then you got like the answers with Satoko and stuff, where stuff finally starts to click. If you're wondering, like Aiden, did you know it was Satoko? No, I did not. I I didn't know going into this. Into Go, I was like super blind because I was hard dodging anything Go related. Um, so it was a pleasant surprise. I mean, we started like when we started doing theories, like I did predict it could be Satoko, but I didn't think it would be because she's a looper. I thought it was more like kind of like what Feathering was saying near the end, how people remember fragments from the past, so their personality changes. So I thought like the new rules of the world was because of that, which is technically true. I just didn't like go as far to think as there was a looper. So that was a pleasant surprise. And you're like, Aiden, you know Umineko, you didn't think Satoko would be the looper? Dude, I totally thought Lambda Delta was Takano. Not gonna lie, so there you go. But yes. Oh yeah. And then I got a little sidetracked. Then you got the final arc, which was a lot of setup. It was backstory and setup for the next season. But like there's some very great moments. The whole like problem between Rika and Satoko, very Ryukishi to make like it's such a complicated problem because I can definitely see both sides, and at the same time it seems like super obvious to bits, and it doesn't seem like that big of a deal to like an outsider perspective. It's a typical like Ryukishi problem. He likes doing that. It's an Umineko and some other stuff. So yeah, classic. You got Feathering, which was cool. I didn't expect that. You get Redeemed Tepe, which was honestly like one of the best moments, dude. I was hyped. It was something I just never saw coming, even though constantly talking about how people change with how people's personality changes as they loop. I just never considered like characters like Tepe having a change of heart. Then you got a Takano focus finale. If you don't know me, I'm a big Takano fan, so I was happy about that. Reformed Takano, you love to see it. I always memed about it in the visual novel, how it would be cool to see a Takano that just doesn't do it. I was saying because like Tomotaki convinces her through the power of love, but obviously it wasn't like that exactly, but still, that was cool. But yeah, all like, I can kind of split my experiences with Go into those three pieces. And again, it's something you can only really appreciate if you've read the visual novel beforehand. So, but yeah, very positive experiences. And yeah, basically, great story. I guess like, maybe we should just go over each arc very fast. Story-wise, you got Ani Damashi. Now, it would have been hyped if I was watching this week by week, but I already knew that it was a sequel. I tried avoiding as much Go spoilers as possible, but it's kind of hard to avoid like the big news that it wasn't just a remake. So I knew it was a remake or a sequel going into it, so I wasn't too surprised when stuff changed. I was surprised about the the climax, I guess, was super dope. Though we did, it's the curse, man. There's the chase scene from Untitled will never be animated properly or adapted properly. It's like my favorite scene from Untitled. It's never done justice, but it's okay. Watch Damashi. I don't know what Aiden, what's your favorite arc from Go? I don't know. If you've watched my Higurashi tier list where I rank each arc, which you should watch, Wata Nagashi and Matsuri Bayashi were my two favorite arcs from the original story. Is Wata Damashi my favorite? I don't think so, but I love the ending of Wata Damashi when it hits you with a lot of questions. Not like the time of death stuff questions, but more like, wait, was there time of death? I'm confused. I get a little confused. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I guess you were questioning like, oh yeah, it was more like questioning when did Mion switch with Shion sort of thing. That was fun to think about. Very reminiscent of the Watanagashi problem where you're guessing when they were switching. So that was cool. Then you got Tataru Damashi, which I really enjoyed. Again, if you've watched the tier list video, I'm actually not that big of a fan of Tataru Doroshi. So seeing them like do the hot switch into Matsuri Bayashi's first half with Satoko, or with the first half with the Satoko child welfare war arc was like really dope to me. The ending was fantastic. Then we already talked about the Neko and Satoko arc. It's probably a toss-up between Neko and Tataru Damashi for me. Maybe not. It's either Neko or Wata Damashi, I think. Maybe it's just Neko. I think Neko arc's my favorite. I guess if I'm so indecisive about what to like pit it against, it's just Neko, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoyed the story. We'll see how it goes. Again, lots of setup. Hopefully the setup will pay off. Let's talk about some other aspects of the story, or of the adaptation. Art style, I think I really enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie, when my first episode in, I was a little hesitant about it. Maybe not even first, like just a couple episodes. I was unsure. Like when I saw Rita Satoko, I was like, yes, this looks good. When I saw Rena and Mion, I was like, maybe. When I saw Teichi, I was like, I don't know. I think the art itself, I think the effect of this new art style makes characters look a little more pudgy, a little more chubby, a little more thick. So it took a little bit getting used to, but I like it. I like it a lot now. And then Satoko and Rita already look good. But once you get used to the change, it's just better than the original animation style. I guess you're just so used to seeing the characters in a certain way. Because they did kind of change how the characters look. Kind of. Like with the shiny, kind of different color hair, Keiichi's new drip. But overall, I like the art style. Lots of close-up shots. I think it's okay. I don't know about the close-up shots. They love doing that though, especially in the beginning. A lot of like close-up to the mouth shots. I guess that's just a popular thing because they even do that in like the live-action versions of Higurashi a lot. Surprisingly, I wonder if they took inspiration from that. But yeah, overall animation's good. I mean, I guess it's just refreshing seeing like a really well animated Higurashi because the Dean stuff was pretty janky a lot of the time. Like, I love Rika's watching Higashi dance. It's super clean. Like, when I first saw that, I was super hyped because I was always interested in Rika's dance. You don't really, obviously you don't see it in the visual novel, so I was kind of like judging each adaptation on it, and this definitely takes it hands down. Music, let's talk about music. OST, like the general one throughout the story, I actually really enjoyed. I think I enjoy it more than the original anime adaptation, which might be controversial. Well, not like bad controversial, but a heated a hot take, I guess. That's what I was trying to do. Because I know people really like the original soundtrack. A viewer of mine, Autumn Fields, even said commented once that he likes the original soundtrack more than the visual novel, which is like crazy to me. No, well, not crazy. I just disagree. But this one was more noticeable. I feel like the original adaptation soundtrack was more ambient, so it kind of blends into the scenes. I always prefer a soundtrack that sort of stands out a bit more, and a lot of the times I feel like the soundtrack did. But I think the star music of the series is definitely the openings and endings. I love all three of them. I think it's crazy because the opening I wasn't feeling as much as I do now. For like a couple episodes, I was like, it's okay. It's not as good as the other openings. No, I'm cutting that opinion. I think it's actually the best opening. My favorite opening before that, it was probably Ray. Musically, why? Obviously, visually, maybe like the second Kai's opening, I should say, was my favorite. But those opening musically is so good, man. It sounds actually really good. I literally listen to that shit on Spotify like, well, not daily, but like a couple times a week. It's really good. Visually, it also looks good too. But for me, it's really musically. And I think that's what takes the cake for the openings and endings. Like, how it actually sounds. Maybe the visuals are set too, but how it sounds, I think, is, like, above any other Higurashi stuff. Or, openings and endings, I should say. And the endings, I think they're great. It is the art style, I should say, of the endings are really unique with the... It was kind of like it was drawn with like hand drawn, I should say. The visuals were fun, the songs were good. I don't know which one I like better out of the endings. I think they're both good. Visually they're both good. Sound, they're both good. I thought I would say God Syndrome before making this video because I really enjoyed God Syndrome, and when they changed it I was like, oh man. But I've eaten my words since then because I really think what's it called? I actually don't know what the second ending's called. But it's also really good. I think it sounds really good. So yeah, top tier openings, endings. I think they're actually just best in the series. Though to be fair with the endings, it's definitely a different vibe because I love like every even before Go and stuff, I always thought the endings for the Higurashi adaptations were better than the openings. Like the first ending, Kai's ending, Ray's ending. Well, actually, Ray's opening was probably better than Ray's ending. But those are all bangers, but they're really like slow, emotional songs. God Syndrome's kind of falls into the same boat, but like the second ending is just hype, so it's a different vibe. Anyways, I'm glad the opening and endings are great because Higurashi's been constantly delivering good openings and endings, and hopefully Sotsu does the same. Like the only miss I felt for openings and endings in Higurashi is probably like Kira's ending. I really enjoy Kira's opening, low key, but Kira's ending was not as good to me. But yeah. Sound wise, great sound stuff. What else we got? Gore, Aiden, what's your favorite death? It's a tough question. I mean, Gore looks beautiful. I think this is probably more gory than the original series. Though I'm not sure. It's easy to say that in retrospect and with the new animation style. But I don't know if it's actually more gory than the original Higurashi. I think it might be, though. I think it might be. I don't know. There's some great moments. Like, you got the first one, the end of Onidamashi, which is just shocking. The Teppei, smashing Teppei's head and splashing Satoto's full face red was pretty good. I mean, it's probably from the Neko Arc, maybe like Oishi. It's either Oishi's kill scene or Akasaka's kill scene. I think they're both great. Akasaka's has like the sick transition, and then the irony of Akasaka killing is like super cool to me. I don't know. It's one of those two. What else? I don't know, dude. How do you like the characters? Favorite characters from the series? I mean, I guess if you're looking at characters that have majorly changed in Go compared to the original series, you can definitely say Satoto, Rika, Teppei, and Takano. I feel like every other character is more or less very similar to the original series. Like, yeah, you know, what about Oishi when he goes crazy? Yeah, but that doesn't really count. I feel like the real hard character development is from Satoto and Rika. More Satoto than Rika. And then you have Teppei and Takano, who's like not a focus of the story, but their characters do develop a lot. I like all the development. I think again, so the Satoto Rika problem, very complicated, at the same time very silly, classic dilemma. But it's still gripping, and I'm sure like if you ask viewers like who do you agree with, it'll probably be like close to 50-50. Minus like I mean if you factor in Satoto actually like killing Rika and stuff, it probably will go lower than 50-50, but like the base problem is probably 50-50. Dude, I love the Teppei development. I think it did great for his character, and I love the Takano development too. I'm again huge Takano fan. I guess you can't see it since I'm not using my cam, but I have that little Takano figurine that I bought for Go, just blessing the reaction, watching over. So it was great to see blessed Takano. That being said, I feel like my top 3 characters are still the same. After the top 3 characters I had after finishing the visual novel and all the other stuff is still probably Satoto, Mion, and Takano. Not in any order. Again, even though Mion's still the same character, I still feel like Mion's best girl. The Rita development's interesting, though maybe like more negative to a character. Though maybe not. I don't know. Rita's cool. Satoto's development is interesting, but maybe more negative to her character. But she's still like my spirit animal, so it's okay, I guess. And Takano's Takano. Plus, she's a better character now, so like it's just a win-win for the rare Takano fans. The rare Takano dub. But yeah, I think that's all I got. I think I've covered everything I want. I'm trying to think if there's any more. But if you have any like specific topics that I haven't covered here and you want me to comment on them, just leave a comment. I'm definitely willing to answer anything you ask. Drip, what's your favorite new outfit? I kind of want to make a video of that by itself. if I'm not lazy, because it's probably a lot of work to like find all the new outfits and go. On the top of my head, Messy Bun Takano, you see it in for literally like 5 seconds when Oishi shows a picture to Keiichi. That's kind of fire. Tiny Takano with the sun hat was kind of fire, which again you only see for 5 seconds. Oh, the Addo drip with like, oh, Mion's Addo drip, very good. But yeah, I think that's all I got. It was a great time. Hopefully you enjoyed this review, and again, if you haven't checked the Go reactions out, feel free to check them if you want. And I'll be watching Sotsu very soon after this video's up. Hopefully it's good. It's only 15 episodes, I think, or somewhere around that, so I'm wondering how that will go. If you're like Aiden, quick predictions for Sotsu. Even though I think I left them at the final episode of the reaction, I think One Art's gonna cover Satoko's, how Satoko, like, I guess acted throughout the arcs we saw her in, like going through Ani Damashi to Neko. Then the next arc will be, I guess, Rika trying to beat Satoko at this, which would be like very hard because you can't really like ask your friends to do it unless like you loop enough where they like understand the situation more. So it'll probably be like a battle of that. Like that's gonna be like the two halves, and I guess like what's the resolution gonna be? I don't know, but like Rika has to do something. Probably like with the shard. Obviously she doesn't kill Satoko because, well, actually I don't know. Like if you kill Satoko or Rika as a looper, like is Burn Castle and Lambda Delta still chilling? Has a different existence? It's a question I'll never know. or maybe we'll know in Sotsu. But anyways, that wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Hopefully it was worth your time. And if you haven't subbed, consider subbing. Lots of Higurashi content already on the channel, and more Higurashi content on the way. You know, we're reacting to the movies, to the J-dramas, which I think is like, oh, actually I haven't checked, but probably very few people on YouTube have done that. So, you know, the rare reactions. And after Sotsu, I'm planning on reading the console extra arts, whatever there is. So it should be fun. Lots of Higurashi content to come, and like eventually Sasonia stuff, I guess, once we're dried up on the Higurashi well. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you have a great night, and hopefully I'll see you again in a future video. But for now, peace.